if you're a first-time cruiser like we were a few years back, we've only been on 2 cruises so far, you really don't know what to expect. And that's kind of confusing. So looking at it from the perspective that we've already done it, I've got a lot of tricks I'd like to share with everyone. First of all, when booking the cruise ship, take into consideration the cost to get to that port. If it's in driving distance, well, that's probably the best option, and parking at the cruise terminal itself is going to be very expensive. So what I would recommend doing if you're driving to the cruise ship is to find a hotel that offers a park and cruise package. Doesn't have to be a fancy hotel. In Mobile, for example, we found a small hotel, and we were able to spend, I think it was right under $100 for a night, and that's all we had to pay. We got to leave our car there throughout the duration of the 7-night cruise, and they even shuttled us to and from the cruise terminal free of charge. Of course, we tipped them, but I mean, that was great. And then also the other things to consider before you do this cruise is, you know, what should you bring aboard? Are you a drinker? If you're a drinker, and this varies among cruise lines, but most cruise lines, and I know Carnival does at least at this point in time, they'll enable you to bring on, I don't know if there's a limit, but my wife and I took a 12-pack of Coke each because we like to drink vodka and rum. So I brought some Coke, and she brought some Sprite. So took that on also, and I know this is at least the case with Carnival. You can bring 1 bottle of champagne or 1 bottle of wine per person. So we took advantage of that. So that's going to save you a lot, because if you are going to drink on the cruise ship, you'll spend just for the Coke. Those aren't included, so I think they're $3 or $4. So you can see how that would add up. And then another way to save is to bring, or to call ahead if you're dealing with Carnival. And this may be applicable to other cruise lines too. But Carnival has a Bon Voyage, and I've got another video if you want to check it out. It's called How to Drink Cheap on a Cruise Ship, and I've got a lot of pointers in there. But basically, you can call ahead, and they'll have a bottle of the liquor of your choice, or bottles for that matter, waiting in your room. So they are a little bit more expensive than you expect to pay in a package store, but it'll still save you money. So that's the alcohol talk right there. So we've talked about that. Other things that you should plan ahead are the shore excursions. Those tend to book up very quickly. And then also, just because it's offered through whatever cruise company's website doesn't mean it's the best deal. I'd recommend going to travel sites such as TripAdvisor.com and reading user reviews, and find just search for the destination where you'll be in port, the destinations rather, and see what people recommend. We were in Bermuda, for example, and we found this gentleman on the TripAdvisor's top reviews in Bermuda snorkel. Super affordable, super awesome, and it was a very personal experience. Whereas if you book through a cruise line, the people that service the people from the cruise ship, they're likely larger boats, and they're loaded to the gills with people. So you'll probably pay more if you go through the cruise line and book it, and you'll probably have a lot more people with you. Not that that's a problem, but it's more fun when you kind of have that more individualized experience. One advantage to booking through the cruise ship, though, is that if you book through another agency, there's always a risk of being late. So you'd want to make sure if you're going to book something outside of what the cruise line offers, to find out when they leave and when they get back, and allow plenty of time, because if you miss the ship, you're gonna feel like a fool. But that's of course one obvious disadvantage. But booking outside of the cruise line, you'll save a lot of money for that. And then also think of things that you'll need. They're going to charge a premium for suntan lotion, Tylenol, any sort of like headache medication, maybe some antacid, toothpaste, toothbrush, whatever you might forget. they're going to be sure they have it, and they're going to be sure they charge a premium. And you're going to have to buy because you don't have another choice unless you just want to go without those items. So, plan ahead. What I recommend doing is just making a list starting a few months in advance, just because it's kind of fun. Figure out what all you're going to need, and just kind of keep that list up on your refrigerator and look at it every day. And if you think of new things, add it to the list. And then that way, when you go into this cruise, you're well prepared. The worst thing ever is that when you get on a cruise ship, the whole purpose of it, at least in my opinion, is to relax and not have to worry about anything. If you've done all the planning ahead, you've already booked everything in advance, you're not like the other people rushing into the atrium of the cruise ship to book those last-minute shore excursions that are almost full. No, you've got it all done, you can just chill out. Another thing I'd recommend is that when you go to the cruise port, and this is assuming that you're getting to the cruise ship in warm weather and whatnot, but I would definitely wear a swimsuit and shorts, because you're going to be in that in port for a while before they finish loading all the bags. Not just a problem, gives you a lot of time to check out the ship, but more than likely you're going to walk around the ship a few times and you're like, man, I want to get in that water. And your room's not going to be available yet, and your luggage won't be in there. So if you didn't wear your swimsuit, you're going to have to wait, unless you just want to jump in your jeans and your dress shirt or whatever. But that's another thing to take into consideration. And then also the obvious is that with cruise lines, at least with Carnival, and I keep saying Carnival because that's the only cruise line we've done. We've done the Carnival Pride and the Carnival Elation. Both were awesome ships. Awesome crew, everything. Everything was exceptional. But another thing I'd recommend is planning ahead and just kind of having a budget, because what you'll do when you get on that ship, there will be no cash transactions. So they give you a card. It basically looks like a credit card and also functions as your swiper key for your stateroom. And I would make sure that you are prepared to have a somewhat decent bill. Even if you're a non-drinker, there's going to be things you'll buy on the ship. Maybe a carbonated drink here and there, maybe a mixed drink, maybe a glass of wine or whatever. Inevitably, you're going to end up buying stuff, and depending upon how much you buy, it's easily going to be at least a few $100s, and there's really, I'd say there's no way around that. There's probably not a way around that. And it's not like you want to go on to a cruise and feel like you got a nickel and dime yourself. You just want to have a good time, but you've got to, to have that good time, make sure you've got all that stash, and you're prepared when you get home, so you can quickly pay whatever few $100s it may be and be done with it. Another thing I recommend, if you're going to have some wine with dinner, and this is again is Carnival, you can get a wine package, and it's actually a way to save over buying wine by the glass, and they'll actually cork it for you if you don't drink the whole bottle during dinner. So that's really nice. I'm trying to think of other things. Of course, the obvious, you'd want to bring a camera. Most of the time when you're doing a cruise, unless you're a non-swimmer, you're probably going to get in the water. There's probably going to be a lot of tropical fish and stuff. So what I would recommend is a waterproof camera, and they're very affordable nowadays. And actually, I've got a separate video on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's a review for a Fuji waterproof camera and a Panasonic Lumix TS3 waterproof camera. I've got both of those, and they really make some incredible still shots and HD video as well. The Panasonic's HD, the Fuji's just a standard video, but it looks good. You check out some of my snorkeling videos, you'll see footage that I filmed with those cameras. So that's something I would take. And then also, if you're if you can get like a waterproof, and I know it kind of sounds dorky, but it's a fanny pack and it's waterproof, and you can get one of those. Just check out my other video. It's called Captain Don's Cruise Advice, and I've got a video of the one that I own in there. And it's really nice because when you go snorkeling, you just wear it around your waist, and you can put your, usually when I go off the ship, I just take my, of course, my room key, because you got to have that. Never take passport out. It just stays in the safe in the cruise ship room. but I take a credit card, take my room key, maybe some cash, because most everybody's going to take credit card. Not everybody is. So it's good to have cash, and if you're limited to which card you take, Visa seems to work really well down there. There are quite a bit of places that do not take American Express, because Amex tends to charge a little bit more for the merchant fees. So that's why. So keep that in mind. And any expensive items, you know, don't wear expensive jewelry or anything that you know might get stolen or lost. More than likely it'll get lost instead of stolen, but you know, there's always that risk. And feel free to check out my other videos. I've got several reviews of the Carnival Pride, and also some videos for the Carnival Elation, and that should give you a good idea. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm just putting this together. I love to travel. I like to learn from other travelers how to be better prepared and more thoroughly enjoy my future trips, and learned a lot of tricks along the way. And I hope these pointers here benefit you. I know that a lot of them I learned trial and error, and I learned from others on the cruise ship. But have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer if I can.